Personal Journal of Ambassador Zarn. The humans bestowed an honor on me today that I shan't soon forget. I attended a sending ceremony, funeral, they call it, for one of their most venerated heroes, Sergeant Major Beauregard Thibodeau, Earth Federation Marine Corps. He passed quietly in his sleep, though the manner of his death is hardly befitting his life. The human manner of ascending ceremony is not unlike ours. Others gather and tell of the deeds of the dead. Throughout the ceremony, it became clear that most of the other humans present were alive now, due to some personal act of heroism by the Sergeant Major. One particular deed stands out that I'll record here. Humanity, as we know, fought their way into the stars. The story hardly bears repeating. Suffice to say that when the Order attacked the planet by surprise, 70 cycles ago, it sorely underestimated human tenacity. The humans salvaged the wreckage of their would-be conquerors, improved it, and took to the heavens. It was early in that war that the Sergeant Major won his fame. At that time, he was Corporal Thibodeau of United States Marine Corps. He was on the front in the battle for DC. The Order wanted to preserve the planet, and counting on the weakness of the mere apes they observed, the haughty Order troops landed and attacked. The fighting was fierce. The humans didn't know what they were fighting. They still used rudimentary explosive projectile weapons, terrible things, and particularly shocking to the Order's troops, who'd never seen such rending, tearing wounds. The corporal and his squad were holding their machine gun positions in the streets of the city, fighting from holes blasted into the asphalt by falling explosives. The Order's advance through the city was quick. When the call to withdraw came, Thibodeau volunteered to cover his squad's retreat. A small, selfless and crazy brave act that the Order found comes naturally to many humans. The men bounded rearward. One of those present recalled looking back to see that Thibodeau hadn't followed. The enemy were all but on top of him, bodies of their dead stacked so high he could scarcely shoot through them. The men called to Thibodeau through their communications devices, urging him to follow. His reply still rings in all their ears. Thibodeau bellowed back into the headset at full volume over the rapid firing of his gun. "Get the fuck out of here. Getting buried in brass is a good goddamn funeral for me." The men at the sending ceremony laughed and shouted grunts of approval at the quote being read aloud. Of course, it didn't need to be read for the men to know it. The whole military of Earth has long had it memorized. Thibodeau's war cry in fact became the clarion call of the resistance. By the time his position was overrun, the young corporal was so grievously wounded that he was left for dead, another mistake of the invaders. Humans are very hard to kill. Over the next few days, he crawled on his belly to safety, moving only at night to avoid detection. Within months, he was fighting again. At the conclusion of the recitation of his deeds, the whole sending party passed his open casket to say goodbye. I too was ushered into the line. As I approached his body, I noticed a particular adornment. The inside of the wooden box he laid in was lined with 1,000 of the brass containers of the now defunct human weapons. The Sergeant Major, laid down in his bed of brass, looked at peace. Author's name and the link to original text is in the description.